You've found the Curvature Key. Let's get into this. Drimus has found something buried deep in the archive, a fifth Ark ship that history forgot. Sara's bloodline just got more complicated. Meanwhile, Vra'shek, Cylas, and Talryn are walking through the door of the Four Corners. And Roger? Roger is about to have the worst night of his career.
Sara folded her arms.
Well then, say it. We have to get out of here.
Drimus glanced around, as though someone might be listening, even here in the quiet of the archive. Her voice dropped.
It was Salin. She's the one who placed the Oblivion Covenant operatives on the Ark ships. All 5 of them.
Sara's eyebrows shot up.
Wait, did you say all 5 of them?
Yes, at least 1 on each vessel before launch. She wasn't just a scientist, Sara. She was a hand of the Covenant, operating in plain sight.
Hold on, Drew. You said 5 Ark ships? There were only 4. Everyone knows that.
You're right, except you're not.
Drimus leaned in, her eyes alight with the thrill of forbidden discovery.
There were 5.
Sara frowned, her pulse quickening.
That's impossible. The Irondor, the Saba Van, the Tresneen, and the Zerandor. 4. That's it.
Drimus shook her head.
Sudsy, I grew up studying the same records you did. I know what the records say. But buried in someone's private archive, someone named V something, I found references to another ship, the Endis Pow. The details match every other Ark vessel. Construction schedule, launch designation, crew manifests, at least a partial one, except this one isn't in the official histories.
Sara exhaled slowly, her skepticism battling with unease.
You're saying the High Council erased it?
Or hid it. Not much left. Security blocks running everywhere I look, even in this archive. But there's one thread I can pull, one bit of info I can get to that's very interesting. I can't find the full crew manifest of the 5th Ark ship, but Salin Sudis was on the part of the manifest I have.
Sara's mouth went dry. Salin Sudis. The name hung in the air like a curse. Cylas stopped Talryn and Vra'shek before they moved out of the shadows, placing a hand on each of them.
Why are you touching me, Zorathian?
Talryn grabbed Cylas by the wrist.
Yeah, now you know I don't agree with or even like his crenness. But I've got to agree here. Why are you stopping us from going in?
Talryn removed Cylas's hand. Cylas turned toward the corner behind them and to the right.
Because we are being followed, and I want to know why.
Roger was breathing deeply, calming himself before the rush of adrenaline started pumping through his body.
You got this, Roger. Remember your training. Remember to stay alert.
He took another deep breath and unholstered his sidearm.
Here we go. Here we go.
He spun around the corner, lifted his sidearm.
Freeze!
The squirrel on the sidewalk not only didn't freeze, but took off running for the nearest tree.
Where the hell did they go? They were just over there.
We're right here if Kryn or Zorathian eyes were on us. Better to flush them out now than get gutted later.
The blow to the head wasn't enough to fracture his skull, but it would be a while before Roger woke up to discover that. Cylas stood over him briefly.
Okay, now I'm satisfied. Now we can go in.
He looked over at Talryn, who was quietly snickering at him.
What? We don't know if there are any other Zorathian agents around here. I wanted to know.
Better to flush them out? We ran around the block and you hit him in the back of the head. That flushed nothing.
Come on, we must move. We are close to the artifact.
Vra'shek started toward the bar.
Oh no, not now. This is not a good time.
The room around Castor and Sara rippled like the surface of disturbed water. The familiar weight of the book grew hot against his chest, its pages flaring with light until their vision collapsed into black. When it cleared, they stood in a wide, sterile laboratory. Glass vials glowed on stone counters, their contents shifting between liquid and vapor as if undecided. At the far end stood two figures they both recognized. Salon's features were unmistakable. She looked exactly like Sara, her posture sharp, severe, and haloed by a pale blue aura. She leaned over the book, her hands tense, voice edged with fury.
What is going on? Why can't I get this to work?
Across from her stood Freydis, calmer but no less determined.
I have no idea. Try it again.
Salon put both her hands on the book, but nothing happened.
I'm going to make this work.
I don't think you can force it, Salon. The book isn't a pet.
I don't need to control it.
Salon snapped, her triple helix aura burning brighter.
Just direction. For Zora.
The book convulsed in her grasp, then shuddered as if repelled. With a flash of light, it tore itself free, flying from her hands and slamming shut in midair. Castor staggered back, pulse pounding. Sara's breath caught. Castor's chest burned with the heat from his artifact, the pull too close, too strong, as if the book remembered him before he could remember himself. Freydis laid a hand on it as her lips curved into a knowing smile.
Looks like it's chosen me.
The words echoed in Castor's mind, almost identical to what she had told him before, that the book chose who was worthy, who was strong enough to bear it. He felt Sara's hand slip into his, grounding him. For the first time, he knew this was no illusion. Salon and Freydis were not shadows, but history itself, replaying the moment that split them apart. The book hummed again, its light reaching for Castor. He braced himself. The world snapped back into the dimly lit Four Corners bar. Empty bottles and chairs turned up onto tables, the last stragglers of the night staring nervously at the door as it creaked open. Vra'shek stepped inside first. His presence was wrong, too sharp, too cold. Even through his human disguise, the weight of something alien pressed into the room like a storm front. Behind him, Talryn slipped in, eyes scanning every corner with professional precision. Cylas followed, silent but coiled, as though the air itself offended him. The patrons who hadn't already left shrank back. Without a word, Vra'shek extended a hand, and the door slammed shut behind them. Talryn's gaze fixed on the ceiling.
It's upstairs. I can feel the resonance.
Yes, I feel it too.
In their focus on the artifact, none of the three noticed a shadow slip through the door and shift toward the back wall. Private Detective Allen had followed the trio in, each step of his pursuit making him regret it more. But he couldn't turn back now. His instincts screamed that the tall one, Vra'shek, wasn't just dangerous. He was something far worse. Allen eased a hand to the revolver at his side, though he somehow already knew bullets might not matter. He had tailed killers, smugglers, all manner of no-good people. But this was different. Something primal told him that if Vra'shek even looked at him, he'd die before he touched the trigger. Somewhere between both spaces, vision and present, Drimus knelt before the interface, her palms pressed to the console.
Come on. Sara and Castor's time is running out. If they stay tethered in that vision too long, the Kren will be on them before they can breathe. Please, bring them back, or unportal them, or whatever it is you do.
The artifact on screen pulsed faintly, as though considering her plea. Then, once more, light bleeding outward like a heartbeat, Castor and Sara back to reality as the sound of footsteps stopped echoing right outside the door. The chamber was silent, except for the hollow resonance of the Grand Historian's voice. The vaulted ceiling above the High Council reflected every word like the chamber itself was intent on remembering. Telyss-Bar began, her pale hands folded neatly over a silver staff engraved with the runes of office.
I have watched and catalogued Zora's grand achievements and her most disastrous failures. This artifact remains among the greatest of them all.
She paused, allowing the weight of history to seep into every corner of the chamber.
From the moment Freydis stole and used it to flee into the Milky Way, she polluted not only the balance of our empire, but the timeline of entire galaxies. How many civilizations there know of us? Too many, too close. If secrecy was ever our shield, it was shattered the day Freydis tampered with forces she could never truly control. And yet, here lies a chance to make things right.
The 11 other members of the High Council leaned forward as one, each haloed by the blue fire of their crest sigils burning above their thrones. Sara and Castor tilted her head.
You speak as though one human child, bonded though he may be, could alter what centuries of work have held together.
Telyss-Bar's lips curled into something not quite a smile.
Not one human child, a descendant, one who carries within him the blood of those who betrayed us. Blood you well know, Sara and Castor.
A murmur rolled across the chamber.
We need to recall Sara Sudis. For all we know, she is the one stifling the mission. The Kren should have been found, isolated, destroyed by now. Instead, delays, evasions, coincidence stacked upon coincidence. Do you not see it?
Elder strategist Vra'shek raised his sharp, luminous eyes. You imply treachery?
I imply possibility. Sara's line is tainted by the Oblivion Covenant. Generations may dull loyalties, yes, but blood remembers. And where blood remembers, allegiance shifts like a tide. She may be stalling, even unconsciously, to keep Zora from locating and defeating the Kren once and for all.
That is a grave accusation. You offer conjecture, Grand Historian, not proof.
Telyss-Bar countered, tapping her staff once against the polished obsidian floor.
I offer pattern. The artifact did not fall into his hands by chance. The lineages of Freydis, Salon, and now Sara and this Castor half-breed coil tightly around it, no matter how far across galaxies the currents drag. Do you think that chance, Elder Strategist? No. The artifact bends to bloodlines. It seeks them. Sara and our always going to be pulled into its gravity. That alone should have been cause for concern.
Sara and Castor leaned back with a weary.
And yet, historian, she has not claimed power. Reports suggest she is trying to protect the human called Castor, not dominate or use the artifact. The official missions after Freydis, where the handlers were assigned and not chosen, went mad handling the artifact. They would probably argue against it bending to bloodlines. Does that assuage your suspicion?
Or does it reveal her strategy? To guide him, manipulate him, until he is nothing more than a weapon wielded by Covenant will. The girl cloaks herself in loyalty, but perhaps it is a loyalty to her ancestors, not to Zora.
Your words skirt the line of heresy, Grand Historian. Remember, Sara was chosen for her training and post by the Helix Ascendants themselves.
And even the Ascendants can err. If our aim is truly to protect Zora, then we words from our mistakes. We cannot allow sentiment to cloud judgment. Sara Sudis must be recalled and questioned before more time is lost. Every moment we hesitate, our goal of Vra'shek leading us to the Kren homeworld is farther away. The Covenant's agents could be burrowing deeper. We cannot afford weakness.
Silence followed, heavy and drawn. Finally, Vra'shek's voice floated gently through the chamber.
And if we recall her, and she proves loyal, what then, Telyss-Bar? Do we apologize for doubting the blood of our own? Or do we shackle her until her usefulness is ground to dust? Will you learn from the past, or only remember it?
If she is loyal, she will endure the scrutiny. If she is not, we will have saved Zora from past English family of betrayers.
Vra'shek leaned forward, flames flickering faintly around his sigil.
You speak much of saving, historian, but I hear more fear than foresight. Recall her, and the artifact may recoil as it has before. You remember what happened the last time a bonded wielder was torn from course.
Yes, I remember. Which is why we must act now, before the artifact itself seals her path beyond our reach.
The council exchanged long, uneasy glances. One by one they turned their gaze toward the central seat, empty, yet thrumming with an unseen weight. It belonged to no single member, but to the will of the whole. Decisions ratified there carried the full weight of the High Council. It pulsed faintly now, as though awaiting command. Telyss-Bar's voice, clear as crystal, broke the stillness.
Shall we vote, then? To recall Sara Sudis, or to let her path continue unimpeded?
The chamber darkened as the sigils above their heads flared in preparation. Telyss-Bar's eyes gleamed, hungry for vindication. But before the first vote could be cast, a ripple coursed through the chamber, a faint hum that seemed to vibrate in the marrow. The artifact's echo. The councillors froze. Even Telyss-Bar's breath caught. The echo deepened into a pulse, steady and resonant, as though the artifact itself were listening. A warning? A challenge? Or a judgment? For the first time in centuries, the High Council hesitated, and the echo grew louder.
The High Council was just about to vote. Sara's fate, recalled or continuing, was only seconds away from being decided. Then the rumble from the artifact. What could that mean? Whatever it means, it's growing. No one in the room has heard that sound before. Join us in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Curvature Key. If you're enjoying the story, please like, subscribe, review, whatever you want to do, wherever you do it. Until next time, keep your eyes on the curve.